Alright, today we're just going to do a simple top 5 video. It's going to be unique squads today. So today we're going to be covering the top 5 unique squads in Heroscape. Before we do that though, we just want to remind you of the end of this month we've got coming up. So you've got a few days left to use the All Things Heroscape discount, 10% off using ATH10 off for all store-wide sales, and then for my subscribers you can use their Heroscape 30 for 30% off any Achilles Alliance, Agent Skahen, or Master Wu Chunwu figures. So check out All Things Heroscape, he's got great stuff. Okay, so now for the top 5, we're going to go ahead and get started. At the number 5 spot we've got Kazuki Samurai with 5 move, 5 attack, 3 defense, and 100 points. Now, Kazuki Samurai aren't super strong. It really depends on what type of build you're running with them. But in the number 5 spot for unique squads, they actually run pretty well as a mid-game. Starting out, they will get shot down or even chopped up pretty quick with any frontal assault. Their defense isn't very good, and their counter-strike is more of a last shot effort on a blank roll than it is anything great. And so really, their strength is after you've engaged with your first assault figures, bringing them up just behind to get in huge attacks on either key heroes, key cheerleaders like Raylan, or even some heavier defense frontal figures. And so, though they're not super strong early game or even late game, mid game they can be a powerhouse. I've gotten beaten in tournaments because of the strong mid game that these guys have been running. So I'd give them a number 5 at unique squads. Coming in at number 4 are the Airborne Elite. The reason why I've got them at number 4 is because of the potential that they have. At 110 points, they're really quite pricey to put into your army. On big, huge maps, they can do very well. In competitive tournaments, they can also do well, but it's more of a risky crapshoot than anything else. You can't depend on their abilities, to say the least, but they do have high potential. With 4 figures to their squad at height, they do a nasty 4 attack from 8 range. Their movement's slow, so getting them into position is hard, and so you really have to depend on the drop, which you really can't depend on. You have to roll a 13 or higher, which at the beginning of the round is great, knowing where they're going to be placed, but again, they can get taken out really fast if initiative doesn't go your way. If it does, it's still a bit of a crapshoot, even still, if you try to use that grenade special attack. But with that said, they do have a lot of potential, and if you're bombing grenades into your opponent's start zone during order marker 1 of round 1, then sometimes that's what gives you the edge in order to take out your opponent. And so I put them at number 4 because they have really high potential in certain scenarios as well as certain games. And even if you don't go bum rushing your opponent's start zone, they can still shoot from quite a ways back, and 4 attacks of 3 is nothing to sneeze at. That's still pretty strong, especially with that 8 range. And so I put them at number 4 because of their high potential. Coming in at number 3, I've got the Nikita Agents for the top unique squads. The reason being is because they have good versatility in a number of different builds. They're a little bit pricey. At 120, you start to worry about whether or not they're going to fill their points. But with that said, they do a great job of potting. If you've got some good, strong engagement figures to defend with them, then they can protect those figures as well. I've had opponents that I've played use Nikitas extremely well by getting them into position, having high defense figures surround them, and my range is inability to take them out because of their smoke powder, as well as then melee figures rushing in to try and engage them and potentially getting killed. I got devastated by these girls because of their ability to defend against engagements as well as range figures. And so I put them at number 3 because even though they bond best with the Guerrillinators and the synergy there, their ability to work their way into numerous builds does them a great service. And so at 120 points, a little bit pricey, but still a very solid squad. Coming in at number 2 are the Krav Maga Agents. Now, yes, I know I put them at number 1 for my top 10 squads of Heroscape, and I still agree with that to a certain point. Krav Maga agents are good if you have the points to put into the army. At 100 points, they give any army good range support. There's no doubt of that. But the number 1 spot will give a little bit more to most builds than the Krav Maga agents will. You have to kind of reserve the last 100 points for the Krav Maga agents, whereas my number 1 spot, it's more of a filler unit. And so Krav Maga agents make their way to number 2 because they obviously are one of the strongest squads in Heroscape, especially unique squads, with their ability to defend against ranged attacks, their speed, their strength from range, and just their high attack, high defense abilities. Just amazing squad to use. But that brings us to the reason why number 1 is number 1. The number 1 spot are the Morrow Warriors. Now, I've played enough games to know that you cannot underestimate the Morrow Warriors. Yes, move 6, range 6, attack 2, defense 3 doesn't look too hot, especially when you look down and see 50 points. You say to yourself, I can handle them. But to be honest, I have been outgunned by these guys more times than I can count, and they prove to fill their points time and time again. The Morrow Warriors are an excellent unique squad, especially at 50 points. They really can be a filler into your army, well worth it. Because they're a 4-figure squad, it gives them a lot more versatility. Because of their water clone ability, strategically, most maps are going to have water or swamp. And so you can always plug one into the water or swamp near your start zone or somewhere strategically on the map while you send out the other 3 to go attack and take enemies out. Then if all 3 of them get shot down, you can take turns recloning the squad back to fill their points again. This has been done to me, and I've done it to others, and it is so effective. When they're going out, you can send all 4 out and get 4 attacks of 3 from height, and if you have to run one down to the water to clone real quick, you can bring back a couple brothers and just keep going at it, and they can survive like nobody's business. Their ability to run fast and gun pretty well from 6 range just proves that they can hold their own, and because they're such a good filler, competitively they are super strong, especially when you happen to come across a unique attack glyph. Most times you're playing in a competitive tournament map and your unique attack glyph shows up, you're not too crazy about it because most of your heroes don't really need it. But if you've got the Morrow Warriors in your army, it's well worth it to hold that glyph and get these guys gunning from height, because at 50 points they can be devastating with that attack of 4 if they have some sort of buff. So these guys cannot be underestimated. I'm putting them at number 1 because of their competitive nature. They fill their points time and time again. They're a versatile 4-man squad, and I love these guys. So feel free to disagree with me. Share your thoughts in the comments, who you think the better unique squads are. I think I've got a pretty good selection here. Again, this is the top unique squads in Heroscape that I believe are the strongest. And hope you guys enjoyed that quick short video. I'm sorry for the lateness. It has been a crazy couple weeks here. Things just have not slowed down, and so I appreciate the patience. But thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.